All right, then we have California, who has taken a different route than using textbook publishing companies. They've decided to use open source textbooks because it can save them a lot of money. But the downside is that teachers can add or take away any content they want. So one classroom might be learning something completely different than a classroom down the hallway, which kind of takes away those standards and things like that. And the adoption process in California isn't always transparent. So they have the California Open Source Textbook Project, and they use Creative Commons, and they lobby for laws that will support open source publishing and government funding. So now that we have the influences of education outside of the government or that work with the government, I want to talk about for-profit educational services. Underneath that umbrella, we have for-profit charter schools and management companies, and we have supplementary educational services. So talking about the for-profit charter schools, they organize the U.S. Charter School Organization. They rely on federal and state money and laws that support them. So a lot of times in the government, you hear of politicians being for school choice or against school choice, and that would be charter schools. I myself have had an opportunity to work in a charter school, American Paradigm Schools, and then there's a ton other, but in Edison Learning is another one, and Imagine Schools is another. Then we have supplementary educational services. The group that kind of organizes those, the Educational Industry Association, SCS Coalition. They lobby politicians for money and protection of their materials. And they're usually done through franchising. Two of the major ones are Sylvan and Kumon, that you can go for tutoring services. So now that we have kind of what public education looks like, I wanted to talk about how policy gets pushed through and ends up down at the local level. So I got these from the policymaking website, and I thought they were interesting because one shows it in like a linear model, and then the other one shows it in a cyclical model. So let's look at the linear model first. So there's the prediction and the prescription, so what is going on, or somebody's noticing something that needs to be fixed or be better, and then you have the policymaker coming in. And the policymaker, there are so many different people that are pushing policy. So we have all of these influencing groups, right? So we have those civil society groups, teachers unions, professional organizations, think tanks, foundations, special interest groups. All of them are policymakers or pushing policies or reforms. Political groups, politicians are pushing policies and ideas about education. And so once those policymakers kind of set themselves up, then they figure out what policy they want to enact. And then they have to implement it, and then there's the outcome. So in the cyclical model, it's similar but a little bit different. I think I prefer this cycle model because I think it's interesting to think about it as being constant because it is constant. So first you have the problem and the identification of the problem. Then you have the policy stakeholders, so who's going to be affected by this policy being enacted. You have the process, the development of the policy, the price tag, how much money you're going to need. And then you have the, which is when we talk about like lobbying, when people are lobbying for something, they're lobbying, putting money, they want money for their policy or their organization or their law or their reform. Then you have paper, which is when the policy gets written down into law or regulations. And then you have the actual policy implementation, and this just constantly goes around and around. So that is everything that I learned, and something kind of overarching. Here are all my references, but something overarching that I learned is that when I look at this mind map, it feels very overwhelming. But as I kind of went through everything, it is a little bit easier to kind of understand how things happen at the federal, the state, and the local level based off of politicians and the influences that play a part in what is going on in education. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great night. Bye.